Alrighty, let's get it. How I played Warframe as a new player from your boy Legendary Drops. Okay, so little context. I think just recently, a couple days ago, I hit my 150th login day thing for Warframe. So that's about as much playtime as I have. So yeah. Okay, here we go.
Warframe is such a confusing game.
Yes, it is.
Especially if you're a new player.
It
There's
is.
so much information.
And also, it's even more confusing if you're like a little kid versus like a 30-year-old dude that thinks they know games versus like a little kid that maybe they haven't played games. So every new unique person, it's not like, oh, it's a brand new game, I gotta learn it. There is so much context between how fast you can pick up the game loop of Warframe.
And so little direction, and it feels like you get dropped into a game that you're expected to understand, and that's
Nope, no direction at all.
just not the case. And while a lot of people have told me that Warframe's new player experience is better than it's ever been,
That's fantastic. But a shiny pile of shit is still a pile of shit.
I'm here to tell you, it's still lacking, especially in comparison to a lot of other games that are out there. And what's sad about that is it ends up being a barrier to entry for one of the best gaming experiences you'll ever have.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best gameplay, some of the best stories, the best community, and some of the best developers in the entire industry. People that genuinely care that you're playing their game, or genuinely thankful that you're actually playing their game, which is something
I love the core Warframe gameplay. It's awesome. Fantastic.
completely new, at least for me. But with that said, today what I want to do is I want to give my experience, my perspective, and my advice on how to get through that barrier, how to have a good new player experience for yourself. And this isn't about stats, strategies, guides, builds, or anything like that. No.
I think this is going to be more philosophical-ish.
That journey is better left for you to take, and I'm not the one to give it to you.
Yeah, good luck.
Don't meta yourself out of enjoyment. And I feel like a lot of games over the years have kind of trained us to do that. I'm here to tell you that that's just not necessary here. Instead, what I want to do is share my perspective and answer the questions that you will undoubtedly ask yourself. And believe me, there's going to be a lot of them. But hopefully, this video will make it where your new player experience is about as smooth as it gets. Before that, today's sponsor. Have you ever thought about traveling outside of the country, or maybe you just thought about how you would respond to your favorite waifu if you ever...
I mean, good on you, Legendary Drops, for securing the bag, but we all know the target audience. I have never stepped foot out of the country, let alone my house. Okay? Come on. Gamer. Come on. Sun? Beach? What the fuck is that shit?
ever got the chance to meet them.
No.
Well, today's video...
Never meet your heroes. They will always let you down in some way, shape, or form. No.
is sponsored by Mondly. They have an incredible deal just for my viewers. Right
look
now,
at this
you
little
can
card.
get 96% off lifetime access to all 41 languages Mondly offers by using my link that's on screen right now or the QR code. That's right, 96% off forever access to one of the top 5 language learning apps in the world. With over 125 million users, Mondly gives you access to 41 languages. Whether you want to learn Spanish, French, or even something a little less common like Finnish or Farsi. And it's super practical too. With daily lessons, you can focus on real-life conversations, helping you actually use...
Why would I want to learn any other language when everybody's trying to learn English? And I already know English. Yeah, I could stand to like expand my vocabulary, but why would I want to learn anything else? Everyone else on the face of the planet is trying to learn English. English is the language of money.
Use the language that you're learning. Don't miss this deal. Use my link, Mondly.
And as far as trying to learn some like Japanese bullshit so I can enjoy animes in their what do you call it? their subbed format. That's ridiculous. I'll just wait until the dub version comes out.
.app/legendary drops to get 96% off lifetime access and starting your new language journey today. Thank you, Mondly, for sponsoring this video. Warframe is an incredibly deceptive game, and I don't want to spoil that journey, but I do want to sell you on something that the game doesn't make readily apparent from the start. Warframe has an incredible narrative experience, one of the most compelling stories ever told in gaming.
I'm going to be honest right off the bat. I have 150 logins, at least, and I don't know a damn thing about the story. Oh, but Cornel, you're missing so much. Hey, go turn around. Go get your focus, bro. Stupid. I don't know a damn thing about Warframe, the story. I have powerful frame. I got good gun. I got good ability. I make things go boom. That's about it.
It has some of the best movement, combat, and mechanics, and it's all wrapped up in one of the most distinct art styles that you've ever seen. It's also
art style
one of the most convoluted and misunderstood games for new players. You'll open up that...
the art style, upon looking at Warframe for the first time, if you've never seen it, it is weird looking. And, like, if you look at the character select screen on, like, a fighting game, or League of Legends, or anything that has like a gigantic screen of just characters, it's easy to understand and, you know, to figure out, oh, what kind of character looks like this, what kind of character looks like that. This could be some abilities of this character because they look like this, or in the case of fighting games, generally everyone's pretty much human, and it's like, oh, I want to be the girl, the guy, the really wide guy, the grappler guy. You could tell the grappler bro versus like the main character bro just by how they look. Warframe, the characters, well, not really character select screen, but like you go hit up the market and you think you're gonna go buy like a frame for some plat or whatever. The characters look cool. That statement takes precedence over anything else. However, the character models do tend to, I would say, skew on the busy looking side. Like, if you know what I mean. So what do you call it? I would say the best example for this is Transformers, like modern day not the most recent Transformer movie, but like all the Michael Bay ones and whatnot. The Transformers look absolutely cool. All right, and when you compare them to their, what was it, the CGI ones or the cartoons, they're very simplistic looking, but you could tell the shape. You could tell like what kind of things the character was capable of. It's like, oh, it's Optimus Prime, and he's like the strong, stocky, wide guy, very tall, like leader, powered type vibes, red, white, and blue. But then you look at modern day Transformers, and you see them go from like a truck into like robot form, and your eyes, when that happens, your eyes don't know where to look. It's just things happening on their body, on the mass, things rotating. It's like a super complicated Rubik's Cube, so on and so forth, and somehow it goes from a truck into like a robot. The models are very busy looking, but I mean, that's really the main criticism, and that's not bad because over like obviously the longer you play Warframe, the more familiar you'll get with all the frames and like, oh, that character looks like this. Whereas on day like 1 or 2, I didn't know who was what. So there is that, but if you're trying to attract new players and you see like a gobbledygook, swooshy, metallic-y, this literally, I don't even know who this is, to be honest. Is this Wisp? Wait, it is Wisp right there. Okay. You got Lex, you got Zenistar, you got Smita. Oh, this is Zeneric. This is probably old footage with Loot Cat. Burstin, okay. It's probably all Incarnates too. This is Wisp, but honestly, I was gonna say this looks like a bunch of Nike swooshes all smushed together. I mean, hey, it, it is what it is, man.
Star chart for the first time and be met with a massive map of locked nodes, UI features
Yep.
talking about quests, alerts, invasions, syndicates, and void
Oh, yeah,
fissures.
yep.
You open up the Nightwave, the game's free battle pass, laden with rewards that you know nothing about and quests that you don't even understand how to complete. You'll find.
What do I do first? I am just. I think Warframe hits. Warframe utilizes FOMO the hardest. Because there are no catch-up mechanics in Warframe. If you want the good gun, you want the good frame, I mean, you could pay for it. Not everybody got the money, the plat, the whatever. Yeah, but you could just put in your time and effort and pay with time and start selling all your shit for plat. I mean, yeah, you can. You're either going to pay with money or you're going to pay with your time. Pick one. There is no catch-up mechanics. And because there's no catch-up mechanics, as a new player, you see all this shit, and you're like, oh, what do I do first? Or what's the best thing to do first? You hopefully, maybe you have like a friend to like guide you through, maybe. But I don't even think the veteran player could tell a new player what to do first. Just complete the star chart. Just complete all the quests. That's what I got told.
And the Forge, where you can build weapons, warframes, items using materials that you have no idea how to get.
Yep.
And an in-game shop that makes the game look more pay to win than a gacha game.
Yep.
I think this is just the byproduct of the rise of live service games, where the minute that you go to start one of these, you want to play as optimally as possible. You don't want to miss out on rewards. You don't want to waste time. You want to catch up to other players. And most importantly, you don't want to waste money. But I'm here to tell you that none of that matters. There is absolutely no need for you to understand everything all at once, or for you to have to engage with everything that the game has to offer.
There is too much shit to understand on day one of trying to play this game. There's too much.
Just as an example, but you'll complete that Nightwave, the free battle pass, just through casual play. I don't think that I've looked at the battle pass quests a single time since I've started playing, and I've gotten all the rewards. Invasions, alerts, events, all these can sometimes provide some rare and unique resources, but there's always going to be a chance to get some of that stuff later, and more times than not, once you actually need those things, you're going to have a ton of them anyway. You could spend hours upon hours researching mods, weapons, warframes, builds, how to get them, where to use them, but I'm going to...
Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're getting a level deeper. The mod system of Warframe.
Stop you right there. None of those things are necessary for the vast majority of the early content in the game. Heck, for myself and many others, I use the auto install mod feature on my equipment for more than half of the entire campaign.
Same. Bro, the first like 100 logins at least, I just auto installed everything. Now, you tell like a YouTuber that and they'll probably say, "Oh, I mean, that type of play style can get you through the what do you call it? The normal star chart stuff." Same thing with the guns. You know, you auto install everything to get like the biggest green number at the bottom. And that mostly works, but yeah, the game doesn't tell you the game doesn't really tell you how to like about like all the interactions. Like it kind of does, but like, you know, you mouse over like a stat, what do you call it? A little a status. You mouse over a status and it'll tell you, "Oh, frost. You accumulate ticks once you reach 10. Enemy becomes frozen and becomes 100%. You gain like 100% crit damage upon like the next shot." It's like, "Oh, okay." And it'll tell you that. And seemingly it would stop right there. So, and then, automatically you go, "Oh, freezing must be really good. Like the frost status effect must be really good." It's like, okay, it's not bad. But for the most part, everyone's still messing around with like viral, corrosive, heat, slash. Those are like the meta, what do you call it, statuses.
until I started to notice that some of these enemies were taking a little bit longer to kill.
Yep.
Best advice that I can give early on is just enjoy playing the game. Take everything.
Yeah, just enjoy the game until the game becomes unenjoyable. Yeah.
One step at a time. Your top priority when playing Warframe for the first time is just to have fun and chip away at the nodes on the star chart. Make your way to the junctions, complete the tasks that they ask for, and move on to the next planet and do the same thing over again. At first, it's going to feel like you have no idea what you're doing or what the point of the game is. You're going to worry about whether or not you should be farming missions or understanding what materials are used for. Again, none of that matters. Take your time learning the controls. Master the bullet jump and movement. Put random mods on your weapons or warframes and see what they do. At the start, Warframe is an on-rails sandbox with an incredibly low floor of difficulty that's there in place to make sure that you can take your time learning the game.
I think Warframe embodies the phrase "easy to learn, hard to master." At least in the core gameplay loop of Warframe. I love the movement system. It's awesome being able to. I mean, I play on M&K, so I think it's awesome being able to ADS and then just hit like what is it? My left control. Hit like just tap left control and do like a little dodge to like gain some speed and have this like little micro correction movement thing that you can just do that no other FPS game does. Bullet jumping, from what I understand, was it used to be like an exploit that players did until the devs were just like, oh, the game is more fun like this, and just put it in the game. Yeah, bullet jumping is awesome. It is. What else? You have walking, you have sprinting, ADS, you have bullet jumping, you have crouching, crouch walking. What else? You have aim gliding. Aim gliding is awesome. It's very smooth. What else? You have wall running. What's your other standard for wall running? Titanfall? Well, Titanfall wall running was pretty good. I mean, it doesn't feel exactly like Titanfall, but it's still pretty good. What else? You have wall latching. I mean, I haven't really used wall latching, admittedly, a lot. You have wall bouncing. That's pretty good. Like you can bullet jump in any direction. If you take like a sphere, set it on the ground, and you have like a hemisphere, you can bullet jump any which way. As long as you can flick your mouse that way quickly. A bullet jump straight up. You can bullet jump forward, backward, left, right, diagonals, every which way. It's fantastic. The movement is so freeing. It's awesome. I love it. Bullet jump into aim glide. The movement is amazing. Some of the best movement in FPS. Well, what is it? Third person shooter? I would not want to experience this game in like first person mode. Holy shit. I could barely I could barely stand the visual clutter in third person mode.
I think I gave Warframe a shot back in 2017. I had some friends that loved playing the game. I wanted to give it a try. I did my first mission. I got shot up into the orbiter. I saw this massive star map. I was immediately overwhelmed. I started aimlessly walking around my orbiter. I think I accidentally opened up the marketplace, saw that you could buy everything in the game, and quit. 2, maybe 3 hours into the game, quit. I was done. And Warframe's biggest weakness is the fact that it doesn't give you a reason to play the game right out of the gate.
No.
You're dropped into a game with very little context, too much information, a vague story, and it's all convoluted. What you don't realize is, and what the game doesn't do a very good job of showing you, is that once you wade through all of that, there's gold underneath. And you don't have to do all of these things. There's so much that the game hits you with. There's an ocean of content that the game hits you with at the beginning, and you don't need to engage with any of it. You just need to do what you need to do, which is run the nodes and just have fun playing the game, and that's it. Everything else will come naturally. This year, I gave Warframe a fair shot. I got into the game, and I said, this time, I don't care about metas. I don't care about doing it optimally. I'm going to try to unlearn my bad habits. I'm just going to play the game blindly. And
everybody's got bad habits when they play games. Even 30-year-old dudes. We all got bad habits. Especially when it comes to the games that we really like. fighting game characters. I don't care who the best character is. I'm gonna play him. I don't care if it's a grappler. I don't care if it's a striker. I don't care if it's keep away. I'm gonna play the best character because, fuck you, Kyle. You're not gonna rush down against me with Brian again and juggle me from one side of the room to the other. All right, fuck off. Back. Only one person's gonna get that reference, maybe two. Oh man. Same thing with Super Smash Brothers. In the budding years of the internet, where none of us, this is all back in high school, with the different versions of Super Smash Melee, Brawl. Even though Brawl was like the ugly stepchild of, or ugly duckling of Smash, yeah, whatever. I still played Meta Knight. My buddy still played Solid Snake. He would mortar slide the entire damn field, and I would abuse the tornado move as Meta Knight because I didn't want to get hit by another goddamn grenade. Everybody meta games, FPS, people meta game. What's the best gun? What's the best loadout? Elden Ring, Dark Souls, or Souls-like games. What's the best weapon? How do I get it super quick instead of just exploring and whatnot? I mean, everybody does it. Everybody's guilty about doing it. Whether or not they admit it is here or there. But I don't know. I'm just like ranting at this point. Okay.
Try to enjoy it and see if progression will happen naturally, organically. See if I will learn the game organically. And it worked. And it's been one of the best gaming experiences I've had in years. Not just because of how great the game is, but just how liberating it felt. Just play a game and not have to worry about all of the extra noise. Not feel like I needed to engage with everything that the game has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, it just felt good. And
I think this is contingent upon DE hoping that each new player will just explore the game and try to put the puzzle pieces together themselves. And I think it's in that space, that moment, is where people diverge in the fork of like, yeah, I'll keep playing, or nah, I'm gonna go play something else.
it's an experience that I want more people to have. My best advice to anybody that's starting Warframe for the first time is just have fun. Take everything one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean everything. I think that Warframe is better categorized as a systems RPG rather than a traditional looter shooter, because every system...
yeah, I'd probably agree, because there are so many systems that are contrived into the game, and I don't care what anybody says. I feel they are contrived, and that's just an opinion. Okay, you could disagree. It's whatever.
System in this game matters, and it feels like everything in the game is a system of some sort. With a vast array of mechanics to learn and rewards to earn, the game doesn't really offer a lot of guidance, leaving you to figure out the complexities of these systems on your own. So let's take the marketplace, for example. With a recent update, they now introduced a notification that'll pop up for first-time players, letting you know that you don't need to purchase everything in the marketplace with premium currency.
This is a good little
This only scratches the surface of what the market actually offers. As a new player, the marketplace is an invaluable tool. You can go in there to buy weapons using credits, the in-game currency that you earn just by playing the game, not just the premium currency. But additionally, blueprints for various weapons and warframes are available, along with information on where to go to get the materials that you need to craft them. Best of all, it directs you straight to the missions that you need to go to get the parts required to build new warframes. So start by using the marketplace to buy blueprints for melee, primary, and secondary weapons, and maybe even you see a warframe that caught your interest, and you can go after that. Head over to the Forge, where you can see which missions drop specific items that you're looking for and which planets contain the materials that you need to create the gear that you're trying to make.
This is also contingent on, at some point, the player will come to a realization that, oh, I need to start collecting stuff. And then, oh, why do I need to start collecting stuff? Because that increases your mastery rank, your overall account number thing. And then, oh, why am I concerned with increasing my mastery rank? Oh, because you have more weapons and warframes and doodads and gadgets and knickknacks and paddywhacks available to you at higher Mastery rank. Oh, okay, I get it now. Oh. And then at MR30, you get like a little blessing thing that you can do. You can just put on yourself every day, which is nice. I mean, I haven't hit MR30 yet. I think I'm like, what, 22?
Many ways the marketplace serves as a guiding star. It's allowing you to be able to set personal goals along the way. It helps you focus on what you want to achieve, whether that's acquiring a specific Warframe or weapon. Taking things step by step is the best approach to Warframe, and learning how to craft weapons and Warframes first is the best place to begin. Now, once you start crafting new weapons and Warframes, there are some issues that you're going to run into. One of them, and it's one of Warframe's most significant drawbacks for new players, and it's limited inventory space from the
Limited inventory space and timers. I love to say that. I love it. Because it pisses off all the veterans of Warframe. They're living in Delulu. That's a good thing. To have like limited weapon slots, limited Warframe slots, limited slots, really long timers to build shit. 2 days, 3 days. I got done farming for the thing. Now you're gonna tell me I need to wait a couple days for the thing? For what? How does that make the game better? It doesn't.
The start. You're only given 2 Warframe slots and a handful of weapon slots, and I've criticized this pretty heavily in past videos, as the joy of collecting and building is very much the heart of the game. This limitation doesn't really give new players a lot of leg room, because they're still trying to decide whether or not Warframe is worthy of their time and investment.
Yeah.
Fortunately, this is not an insurmountable barrier. You begin with a small bit of free premium currency. You can use that to go and buy some weapon and Warframe slots. I highly recommend buying Warframe slots first.
Yeah.
But you'll also earn a few more slots by completing the Night Wave, and you might even be able to get some through some of their live streams if you go and watch them on Twitch. But
okay, this is gonna be a dig, and this isn't like a mean-spirited dig. It's just a fact kind of dig. I think the Warframe Twitch channel is great, but I think it has the highest viewer count and the slowest moving chat simultaneously. I think most people turn that shit on, put it on their second monitor, mute it, and just let it go. And I think that's fine. And I think they're okay with it. Why? Because they allow you to accumulate shit and just do that. They're okay with it.
But with that said, you're still pretty limited, and you'll want to be pretty conservative at the beginning, especially with Warframes, when you're trying to decide what you're going to build, what you're going to chase, and what you're going to keep. As for weapons, it's wise to level them up to their max level and then sell them. Keep the ones you enjoy using and sell the rest. If you need a weapon later, or you find you need to have it for another build, because sometimes there are weapons that are required to make other weapons, you can always rebuild that item later on, and chances are by the time you get to that point, you're going to have enough materials and credits that it's not even going to matter. Focus on crafting and leveling up your gear while completing missions and unlocking new planets. This is going to be your main focus for a while. Heck, it's your main focus for most of the game. The reason why it's so crucial to level up items to the max level before you sell them or before you use them as material to make something else is due to Warframe's mastery rank system. Your account progression in this game is tied to leveling up a variety of weapons, Warframes, pets, or equipment to their max level for the first time. This progression is item specific, so you can't just keep rebuilding and leveling the same weapon over and over again. Instead, your goal here is to diversify your leveling efforts.
And I understand why they did that. They want you to experience all the guns, all the frames. They don't want you to just go into a sick meta of like, what's the easiest gun to craft? Okay, hit it, do that one, level it up to 30, sell it, do the same gun again, because that's going to create a warped vision of Warframe. And they know gamers, as much as they don't want to admit it, are meta slaves. I mean, yes, you kind of can be, and no, you don't have to be. But there's a good chunk of the pie of gamers that play Warframe are meta bros. They play the meta. They play Torrid and Karnan, Lex and Karnan, and their favorite what do you call it? Their favorite frame. Put Kratos on your back for a stat stick because it lets you move and parkour a little bit quicker, and call it a day. Some people like playing like that. If you don't like playing like that, you don't have to. You play with whatever your heart's desire. Just play to your heart's content.
Unlocking these mastery rank exclusive warframes and weapons that you'll get access to later, which will provide you with even more opportunities to increase your rank and expand your arsenal. Now, the reason why I'm telling you to focus on weapons first and not warframes is specifically because of the fact that there are less warframes that are out there. Base frames actually have a use later on in the game, so you don't really want to be selling them off, and I'm not going to spoil what that is. And then also at the exact same time, kind of the name of the game, Warframe. You want to be out there collecting warframes and building them out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I struggled with early on and I think is really important and I haven't really seen a whole lot of people talk about. And that's that you do not need to feel like you need to be out there chasing warframes every given second, because that's not what you need to be doing. The idea of this game is that you just want to pick a frame that you really like, build it out, deck it out as best you can, put the best mods on it, get some cosmetics and things like that, make yourself look real nice in front of everybody else, make a weapon that you really enjoy using, build that out the exact same way, do it to your melee and your secondary, and then move on and do it to another set. Do it to another frame and a set of weapons and things like that. That's kind of the cycle that you're running through in this game. And I think it's also really important to know that unlike a lot of other live service games, the things that you start with are often actually pretty damn good. The base frames that you start with in Warframe, the one that you get to pick from, it's viable for the entire game. You can use every single Warframe in every single given scenario. While some are going to be good at some things, better than others in some things, they're still usable in every single thing in the entire game. So it's not necessary for you to feel like you need to go get the most powerful frame or look at...
Yeah, that's what I thought when I first started to play. Ooh, what's the good frame? But, bro, even if you, like, start to look up, like, Warframe content on day one in 2024, you're going to get a whole host of different type of things that pop up. What, if you type it, if you YouTube or whatever, or Google, what in Warframe, what's the best Warframe? And then obviously, I mean, if you know, that one website, Overframe, will pop up and it'll bring up the tier list. And I think it still says like Saren is like the #1 Warframe. And I quit using like Overframe, or what did I say? Yeah, Overframe, the website. Overframe is like okay, but it's not the best. My buddy still uses it. I mean, God bless his little soul. And I'm like, it's not bad, but I can see where the faults are just from my own deductions and like comparing Overframe to to whatever like the normal like Warframe content creators are talking about. And yeah, there's a little bit of a disconnect between YouTube Warframe and Overframe Warframe, like what they think is the best, what they think is the worst. And because people, whenever they see a tier list, they automatically go to the top of the tier list and they want to pick and play everything and anything into like the S tier. Maybe they'll dip into the A tier and then they won't really touch the B tier stuff. But what did you just say? You just said all the frames can do all the normal star chart shit. Well, I mean, essentially all the frames can do even all the steel pass shit. It's just the amount of effort is variable for each frame.
A tier list or something like that, because it doesn't really matter all that much. And if you've gotten to that point where you've gotten these basics down enough that you're now looking into some of the more nuanced systems in Warframe, this is about the time that the narrative has hooked you in. You've started to get a little bit more invested into the game. You probably got financially invested into the game and bought some cosmetics and things like that. Nobody's giving you any shame. We all...
No. I don't think I've spent I am not afraid to say this. I've spent like a considerable amount of money in Warframe. It's not 4 digits. Okay, thankfully, Jesus Christ, because I've already had my come to Jesus moment with Apex Legends and that dumpster fire of a game. But no, I have learned as a 30-year-old plus gamer that if you like the game, if you like any game enough and you're cool with the developers, you like their vision, they're constantly like trying to update the game, trying to put effort into the game, sure, toss some extra money their way, buy some cosmetics, so on, so forth, whatever. But I think, like, the older I get, I just care about cosmetics less and less, dude. Yeah, I might get like a color palette here and there and change my little frame to like do some different, have some different colors. But as far as like spending plat on like cosmetics and shit, or even resources on cosmetics, I'm just like, nah. But that's just me. If you like all the flashy baubles, by all means, go for it. You're styling on everybody.
Spend more than enough than we probably should, but it just looks so damn good. I mean, who can help themselves, really?
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah. Undoubtedly, Warframe has some baller ass cosmetics. I can't deny it. I can't.
I want you to keep in mind that these nuanced systems that are out there are supporting the exact things that we've talked about up until this point. Every other system that's out there, whether that's reputation or different vendors or whatever it might be, all serve the same purpose.
Mm-hmm.
More weapons, more warframes, more mods. That's all it is.
Yep.
You're just getting access to more things. So pick one at a time and then go from there. Now, I can't tell you which one to pick, so the only thing that I can do is tell you what I did, and then you can choose the journey on your own. Once I got the hang of the marketplace, mastery rank, and how to snag up weapons and warframes, I started checking out some of the content that I had previously ignored because I didn't really think it was all that important to progress. The first thing that caught my attention was the reputation grinds on Cetus, Fortuna, and Deimos.
Yep.
These are fantastic early on because they're open worlds that you get to explore, and more importantly, you get to rack up a lot of rewards pretty quickly because you can complete bounties back to back without actually having to go back to your orbiter. I kicked things off at Cetus because I noticed that they had some pretty cool weapon mods and Warframe parts that I was interested in. The mods looked really powerful and they offered these unique set bonuses, and I was eager to get my hands on a new frame, so I was all...
Bro, as a new player and you step into the open world after going through missions up until this point, you have no idea what to do. Well, there's this big open world. What do I do in it? You know, you're just sitting there scratching your head and you're just like, oh, a random objective popped up. You know, who knows how it started? Was it a bounty? Maybe, probably. And then, you know, maybe you hit escape and then you hit the little check mark and it's like, oh, okay, I'll do that, whatever. And then you're playing follow the leader, essentially, when you're a new player. I'm talking like you ain't got no other friends playing the game. You're just like riding the wind. You don't know what to do. This is like day 1, day 2. I mean, if you're on Cetus or Fortuna, it's probably not day 1 or day 2, and you're in this open world. I doubt it. Yeah, my first time stepping onto like these open worlds, I had no idea what to do. I was just like, ooh, yellow marker, go that way. I had no idea.
all about it. As I wandered around and tackled bounties with other players, I started noticing that there were animals that I could hunt, fish that I could catch, nodes that I could mine for ore. Afterwards, I returned to the town, chatted with a couple of the vendors, and learned that I could trade my standing, the reputation that you're earning from doing bounties, for tools to farm these materials. Now, at first, I didn't think that I needed any of these materials, but it turned out that they were super useful later on for crafting things like the Arcwing launcher, which allowed me to be able to fly in the open world.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep in mind that daily standing has a cap, so there's only so much you can earn and spend in a day.
There is another looming criticism I have of Warframe. I don't know if it's me, if I'm the only one. I don't know if he's going to talk about it, but I don't know. I'll withhold it for a little bit.
Another cool system that I stumbled upon later was Void Rift missions. Now, as you're playing the game, you're going to be collecting Void Relics. You're going to see your inventory get stacked up with them, and if you're anything like me, you're going to completely ignore it and not even know what the heck they are until far later into the game. But these hold some of the best items in the entire game. Primed weapons and warframes. These are the main things that you're going to be chasing. What you do is you check to see what relics you have, and then you pick to run the Void missions that run in accordance with that Void relic. Once you complete the mission, the relic opens up, revealing your...
I wouldn't be surprised if he lost everybody at this point. The Void mission, drop the relic. You do relic, you drop the Void mission. You do the Void mission, and then you can upgrade the relic to get the better chance of getting the item from the void missions. But in the void missions, you have to collect the reactants, but only not every mob drops a reactant. You have to have the little void reactant mobs drop the reactant, and then you have to collect 10 of them, and then you have to still complete the mission, and then then you play Gamba, and then sometimes you get the item you want, and then other times you don't. And so then if you want to upgrade, you want to do it again, you got to get the relic again, and then you need void traces. Ooh, how do I get void traces? Just do void missions again. And there's so much just extra stuff just in that one activity.
Your reward. The best part is that if you're playing this with friends or other players, you get to choose from their rewards too. So if you miss out on the thing that you wanted, somebody else might have got it, and you can grab that instead. The best way to take advantage of this system is to make sure that you're teaming up with friends that are using the exact same relic. That's going to give you the highest chance at snagging whatever you're after. Primed weapons and Warframes are the top-tier version of their regular counterparts. They boast higher base stats and other...
This is a good system because it's about the same system as slots. In slots, you pay $1, and a lot of the times you are winning. Sometimes you put in $1 and you win 25 cents back. Oh, I won 25 cents. Oh. Sometimes you put in $1 and then you win 50 cents back. Ah, I still didn't make $1. Sometimes you put in $1 and you win $1.25 or $1.50. Now I'm up. But a lot of the times you put in $1 and you only win 25 cents. This is like basic gambling mechanics implemented in a video game.
They're bonuses and they're worth your investment. And I think that's the most important thing to keep in mind, that these are the things that you're going to want to invest in the most. Now let's talk about that investment. As you continue to play, you're going to earn Orkin reactors and catalysts, which boost the mod capacity of your...
Oh, here we go. Another new word for another new system, aka the potato.
Warframes and weapons, allowing you to be able to equip better mods and more mods, while also at the exact same time, you're still going to be running these void missions and cracking open relics, and you're also going to find Forma, which allows you to be able to...
Another new word for another thing, for another system. I know, he's doing great. I love it. But if I were to watch this video as a new player, this would still, even upon him explaining it, would just be like over my head.
Specialized mod slots to give you a reduced or a discount on the cost of installing mods. There's nothing wrong with using these on base frames and weapons, but I recommend holding off and saving them.
You use the formas on the base frames that don't have primes, and currently, as of 2024 in November, there's like 6-ish frames. Here, let me see. Open new window. Let me see. Warframe wiki. Warframe wiki. What the fuck? Frame wiki. Let me see. Real quick. No, not Sevagoth J. Okay, currently, all the yellows have a prime. All the white ones do not have a prime. So currently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 frames do not have a prime. So it's very meta to put formas onto all these, 15 frames. It's okay to put formas on these frames, but if you have regular limbo and you're putting formas on it, you can play the game how you want. I'm not trying to tell you the right or the wrong thing, but there is Limbo Prime that is slightly better. than Limbo. And, you know, I can't tell you how to play the game, but that's all I can say is I can't tell you how to spend your resources.
Them for a weapon or a Warframe that you really love and plan on keeping. These items aren't super rare, but they're limited enough that you don't really want to waste them on something that you might sell or replace later.
Yep.
Now I want to loop this entire discussion back to the game's.
And you thought that little character select thing was daunting, of like 50 some odd Warframes? You should look at the weapons or just the primaries list. That is also massive. And some of those are actually not more than some. A good chunk of those primary weapons have prime versions. Same thing with the secondaries. A good chunk of secondaries have prime versions. Same thing with the melees. A good chunk of the melee weapons have prime versions, which are slightly better than their normal versions. But what's the difference? What do weapons have that Warframes don't? Why should I keep a normal version of a weapon? Isn't the prime better? Well, there's a little system called Rivens and Riven Disposition. It's this big old, well, not big old. It's this little tiny thing where you have a mod slot and you could just stick a Riven on it, a Riven mod. And depending on the Riven disposition of your weapon, if you got 5 dots, so 5 full filled in dots, you're going to have a very powerful Riven. And if you only have like 1 dot or half a dot or maybe no dot, the stats on that Riven mod will not be powerful. So with that in mind, that is the way how to keep weapons useful and in meta, in rotation, or keep them relevant, is the whole Riven disposition system.
Monetization. While you're grinding through missions, reputation, and void rifts, trying to score some new mods, prime weapons, prime warframes, you're going to end up with some duplicates or items that you just don't want to build right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is where trading comes into play, opening the door to a free-to-play experience if you want it. Warframe has an open trading system that allows you to be able to trade platinum, mods, prime parts, blueprints, and more. All you got to do is, after you've collected a bunch of stuff that you don't need or items that you feel are more valuable to sell, just head over to warframemarket.com, an unaffiliated website for trading. You can.
This is both a good thing and a bad thing for the game. It's good because the entirety of the economic system of Warframe is, this is the linchpin right here, this website. DE could literally file a cease and desist on these guys and be like, nope, we don't want you to, we don't like what you're doing, stop it. Bleh. They could, but they're not. They're okay with it. There is a form of like this trading thing in the game. It's called Maru's Bazaar. And also, there is trade chat. Now, I have never really engaged with either of those things. Like, I haven't engaged in trade chat. A couple of times I've clicked on it. If you thought like World of Warcraft trade chat was a clown show in terms of people trying to sell gold and carries and all that shit, I think WoW trade chat fails in comparison to Warframe trade chat. That shit zooms pretty speedily. Just as fast, if not faster, than WoW trade chat. Trying to show that thing to like a new player, it's daunting. It's daunting because literally everybody is trying to sell you everything at the same time.
You can post items for sale, or you can buy items that you're looking for using platinum. This not only helps you earn platinum for things like inventory slots or parts for frames or weapons that you haven't unlocked yet, but it also helps you get a stockpile of currency for when you're ready to grab some cosmetics and things like that down the line. And let me be the first to tell you, you will want that stockpile of currency and you will want to be spending it on cosmetics, because at the end of the day, ask any Warframe player, the true end game is fashion. You thought you were...
Yep, the true end game is the fashion frame. So what, your LR4? Do you have all the cosmetics? Can you look the most fabulous?
Getting into a space sci-fi looter shooter, joke's on you. It's a glorified fashion show.
Yep.
And we like it. One of the things that helped me out really early on, and this is probably one of the best pieces of advice that I can give, is that Warframe is all about specializing in things that you enjoy. Finding weapons that you want to build out to do crazy damage. Finding Warframes that you want to build out to make your power fantasy. Finding grinds that you enjoy doing so you can maximize those rewards and then use them to fuel the rest of your journey, or fuel your addiction to fashion more than anything else. But Warframe doesn't have a lot of these situations where you have to do something right now. There's a couple of things here and there, but for the most...
No, because now, so in most people's minds, now, to a gamer, now means either right now or this game session. And how long is that going to be? Anywhere from like 1 to 5, 6, 7 hours, 8 hours, a gaming session, whatever. That is a definition of now. But in Warframe, now could mean a week. Like, you have to get this thing in a week. You have to get this thing in a month. That's what now could mean. But that's confusing. Now means now, not a week or a month. That's later. That's fine and dandy, but you have to take in consideration all the timers to build things.
It's a choose your own type of journey game. And I realize that this isn't a very good guide. I realize it's also relatively erratic, but that's the kind of game that Warframe is.
I don't think you could make a good guide to Warframe. I don't think anybody can. I mean, because you haven't even touched on quests yet. You got to do quests to unlock a lot of systems.
There really isn't one thing that you need to focus on. It's just play the game and enjoy the game, and that's it. Outside of the beautiful, fantastic narrative that the game provides us, outside of that, it's all up to us. Now, later on, the game does start to give us some more structured gameplay. You get some dailies and weeklies and things like that that are very important. But yeah, at the beginning, it's more or less just figuring out how you want to play the game, and that's it.
And how you want to play the game will change 100%. I am enjoying things that I did not enjoy in the beginning of Warframe. In the beginning, I only wanted to play with Warframes. I didn't care about the Necromech. I didn't care about the Operator. I didn't care about Railjack. But, oh, surprise, surprise, a lot of the other parts of the game are dependent on you to have a really good Void Rig, a really good setup on your Railjack, a really good... You have to know how to do Deveria experience. You have to be good at, well, not be good at, you have to know how to do the circuit. What else? You have to be able to do the K-Drive shit. You have to be able to craft an arc wing. I mean, as much as you want to be able to just one trick a gun or a Warframe, the game doesn't really allow you to do it unless you're okay with just being like MR1 and being able to do, like, I don't know, level 10,000 stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's at least... I will be easily proven wrong by the one handful of people that have literally just one-tricked the game with one Warframe and one single gun with like max Forma on it and been able to do literally everything in the game. I will be put in my place by the few examples of that. But the exception to the rule doesn't make the rule. Sorry.
I realize that a lot of people are out there probably looking for more in-depth guides, more information than anything else. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about my playthrough is that I avoided all of that stuff entirely, because playing this game blind not only was a freeing experience, not being told what to do, not having you're not being like dragged by the nose through the entire game, but also at the same time, I wasn't spoiled on anything that the game offered, which made the story that much more valuable of an experience to me. Not to mention, I learned this game far more than I've learned any other game in the past where I...
Yeah, you have to. You have to learn the game to be able to progress the game. A lot of other single-player games, you don't necessarily have to learn the systems. Probably because a lot of other games are just casual enough that allow you to just, like, no-brain your way through the game. You know, I'm pretty sure there's no difficulty modifier, well, besides, like, normal and steel path or, like, deep Archimedia, elite deep Archimedia. There's a couple game modes with, like difficulty modifiers, but there's no, like, easy, normal, hard, extra hard, nightmare hard. There's nothing, like, conventional like that. Because, so you have to learn the systems and how to mod so that you can just literally play the rest of the game. You can do the most damage to the rest of the mobs in the game, because if you're chilling there taking, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds to kill one single mob, how do you think that player's gonna feel when it's like they just auto install everything, and then all of a sudden their damage is just, it used to be good, but it was like a slow gradual decline. They couldn't really notice it, and they don't know how to mod still, but they're like MR15, and it's like, you don't know how to mod in your MR15? I mean, that was literally me.
I did use guides, where I did use build guides and metas and things like that, because since I learned it on my own rather than using any other material, it sunk in. And I think that's really important, and I want more people to have something like that. Now, in an effort to give some structure to this video, I actually did ask the Warframe community, as well as my own community, for tips that they wanted to share with you. So I'm going to share those now in a shotgun approach.
Oh boy.
1, if you're looking for weapons early in the game because you want to earn more mastery rank, you can go buy the MK1 weapons straight from the marketplace. You don't even have to build them, level them up, sell them off. They're not worth anything. 2, now this is my biggest piece of advice and something I recommend to anyone. Make sure that you're watching Prime Time every Thursday on Twitch, where the developers from Warframe and their community managers are streaming the game in front of a live audience. If you've watched the whole show and you've linked your Twitch and Warframe account, you'll get drops that vary from anything like Warframes to materials to unique cosmetics and more. Beyond that, it's just great to get involved in the community. You get to see how much these developers care for their game and, more importantly, their audience. Warframe's community and its developers are arguably the best part of this game, and I can't recommend it enough. So,
I think the Warframe devs and their availability and willingness to communicate with the community in general is fantastic. I think it is unprecedented. I think most, if not all, game developers should probably do this. And more importantly, I think at least all the devs at least that show up on stream, they at least play their game. How many games have we gone through in the last couple years where the developers don't even play their own game and have no idea what the fuck is going on in their game? So many. So I will commend them on that.
Make sure to try to give it a chance when you do. 3, make sure to check the alert and event tab daily, as you often will find Forma, Orokin reactors, Orokin catalysts, and unique items. Again, this is something that's not really necessary early on, but ultimately doing it will be to your benefit. 4, to level up mods, you're going to need Endo. Well, you're going to...
And a lot of it. And by a lot, I mean a metric shit ton.
Get a lot of Endo just by playing the game. You're going to need quite a lot of it to be able to max out your mods. While you're playing, you're also going to get a ton of duplicate mods. You can dissolve these mods at your mod station for Endo. Just make sure you hold on to one mod, and I definitely would avoid selling any of the gold or rare mods because you can actually just go and sell those on the marketplace for platinum. 5. Now, this is probably the most helpful tip in this entire guide, but at some point, you're going to unlock the Duviri Paradox. Every week, there is an event that you can do that's called the Circuit. The Circuit is a roguelike where you're not required to have any weapons built or warframes built. It provides you a choice of warframes to use.
All random, all the time, and at the end of doing this, you get a warframe. You get a couple mods, and you get a little arcane, and sometimes you get a little resource booster or a credit booster or something.
Use weapons to use, and they all have generic mods that are built in.
Perfect.
Before starting the circuit, you're going to be able to choose from 3 warframes. Once you complete,
I actually take it back. The circuit is the catch-up system, at least to collect all the normal warframes. This is the catch-up system. So I stand corrected. I'm wrong.
The circuit, you will earn all of the parts to build that warframe as well as unique mods for that warframe and other items. For new players, this event is incredibly easy to complete. It takes very little time, and it's the easiest way for you to be able to get new frames quickly. 6. Everything in the entire game is customizable, and I mean everything, even the UI. You can find elements and colors and things like that to be able to customize every element of the game through different vendors and different events that are going on.
Yep. I think this is another great thing about Warframe. Your ability to customize most things in the game.
Most real money in Warframe is spent on customization, not on actually playing the game. 7. As you continue to play the game, make sure that you're claiming your rewards from the free battle pass, the Nightwave. Not only does it have unique cosmetics, but it also has weapons, mods, forma bundles, weapon slots, warframe parts, and more. This is 100% free, and there's no way to pay or boost it. While you're completing the Nightwave, you're going to get currency from the Nightwave, and you can use that in the Cred offering shop. I highly recommend that you use it to buy Nitane extract because it's incredibly useful for building a lot of items. Use the rest of the credits to buy reactors, catalysts, or blueprints, or whatever items that you want. 8. Around the time that you reach Jupiter, you're going to unlock Sanctuary Onslaught. This can be found in your Syndicates menu, and this mode is specifically made to level up weapons and warframes quickly. You just run it again and again and level up everything that you have. Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, which is unlocked later, is a more challenging version that's designed specifically to level up weapons quicker, as you have to enter it with a max level warframe.
Oh my god.
Reason this
Bro, I didn't even know that. The Sanctuary Onslaught and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. This one's for warframes. This one's for weapons. I didn't even know the difference. I thought one was just randomly just harder. Huh. You learned something new.
This exists is because once you install Forma into your weapons to get those discounted slots, it resets the level on that weapon. So if you're working on installing Forma into a weapon, this event is what you're going to want to run over and over again. 9. Now this is the highest voted tip for new players, and it's that levels on weapons or warframes doesn't necessarily mean that they are stronger, like it does in most games. It just means that they can hold more mods or higher level mods. Mods are what make your weapon stronger. 10. Find yourself a clan. Clans have access to various laboratories that allow you to be able to spend credits and buy some items and blueprints that you'll need throughout the game.
Also, I would say whenever you go into, let me see if he showed it.
It does in most games. It just means that they can hold more mods or higher level mods. Mods are what make your weapon stronger. 10. Find yourself a clan. Clans have access to various laboratories that allow you to be able to spend credits and buy some.
Okay. Well, maybe the menu will get shown, maybe not. When you go, and this is going to sound very metagamey, when you go to select, look for clan or whatever, there's like a big filter, like Amazon on the left side. There's like a bunch of filters. One of them is max research. Literally just click that one, click max research, and it'll show you only clans that have max research, and just join any one. You will be prompted to write a little message to somebody that will act like another person that will actually look at your stuff. So you can't sound like a dork whenever you send a message. I think I went through like 19 mastery rank levels without a clan before I joined one. like, oh, I'm never gonna get Torrid, I'm never gonna get Ignis Wraith, I'm never gonna get so on and so forth going. I was like, okay, whatever, no big deal. But then my buddy kept hassling me. He's like, bro, just join a clan. Like, can I join yours? It's like, well, I don't know if the person still plays. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go in there, I click max rank or max research. A bunch of clans come up. Just hit message. Be like, hi, I just want to join a clan. Thanks. Smiley face. And 9 times out of 10, they will just give you an invite. And yeah, then all of a sudden you have access to some of the most powerful guns in the game. Yeah. All the items and, well, not all the items, but like a good chunk. Because if you try to look for like any sort of like YouTube thing where it's like where to get this gun, where to get that frame, where to get this thing, where to get that thing, a lot of the YouTube videos will literally just say, yeah, just go to your clan. And so the game forces you, it doesn't force you, but it like indirectly forces you to join a clan, which isn't the worst thing, I think. But I would say a lot of gamers tend to like to play multiplayer games by themselves. It's just a thing that occurs in gaming nature. Yeah, but you know, it's not the worst thing in the world to join a clan. It's like, oh, I gotta do shit, like, because you know, like knee jerk, you're thinking like, oh, it's like a WoW guild and I have to participate. It's like, no, not really. I mean, you can if you want. Like, you could purposely go out there and try to find like some lower level clan and just like ask to join it and like help them research stuff and like form a like a friendship and whatnot. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's not. I mean, again, it's your experience. You can do with it whatever you want. But I mean, getting back to like, so earlier I said there's like a couple things that a couple criticisms that I have with Warframe is that the words they use for certain things that are conventional in other games don't sound conventional in this game. So let's take a word like cape. In other games, it'll be called a cape, a cloak, or like a back piece or something. In Warframe, it's called a Syandana. To a new player that has never seen anything Warframe, you go, what the fuck is that word? That's not an English word. I'm uncultured. I'm American. Like, what word is that? What the hell is a Syandana? And hopefully you have a friend to explain it to you. But hopefully they go, it's just a cape. Well, why didn't they call it a cape? Well, because it's Warframe. It's space ninjas. It's ninjas in space. They don't have capes. They have Syandanas. The words they use for certain things in other games are just not conventional. So, like a weapon charm. Everybody knows what a weapon charm is in any game. They got them in Monster Hunter. You know, the little dangly bit off of your little melee weapon, or in a shooting game, it'll be like a little dangly bit. It's a weapon charm. In Warframe, it's called a Sugatra. What the hell is a Sugatra? It's a weapon charm. Oh, okay. Why didn't they just call it a weapon charm? I don't know. It's ninjas in space. It don't gotta make sense. And there are multiple other examples like this for different resources. Yeah, there just are. They some of these items names in this game literally feels like they plugged in like their own Dr. Seuss word dictionary, and they just asked the Dr. Seuss chat GPT to spit out random words, and they're like, that one sounds good, make it the cape. That one sounds goofy, make it the red gem on this planet. That one sounds like pretty good, make it the emerald on that planet. Okay, make it, that word sounds like silly. Make it the plant in that one. And this is just daunting to look at as a new player. Like, is this a gem? Is this a plant? Is this a fish? Like, how is this resource that? What do I need this resource for? What are all these words? Does anything in the English language make sense? These are all thoughts that I had upon playing Warframe in the beginning.
Items and blueprints that you'll need throughout the game. A lot of these are unique only to clans, so you'll want to make sure that you get out there and make some friends. Finally, the most important thing to talk about, and this is the one thing that a lot of people brought up, is that Warframe is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
No, it's not a sprint.
There is a lot of things to do in Warframe, but there's nothing that you have to do in Warframe, which kind of...
But then again, marathon runners don't run slow either.
touches on things that I was talking about earlier. And you don't have to chase other players. I think that's one of the craziest things, is that I noticed early on when I started playing how often I would be matched.
And you guys ever see that one YouTube video where like all these like running bros that like do like marathons, like ultra marathons and half marathons and all this other shit? They made a big, gigantic treadmill, like very wide, about the size of a road, and it's just a gigantic treadmill. But they set the treadmill on the speed of like the world record holder of the guy that set the record on like this one marathon. And, you know, they had, you know, it's like at a convention, they bring it, they let people try, and they have people jump on and they'll warm up the speed of the treadmill. And okay, it's like, okay, this is level 1, level 2, level 3, or however many miles it went. The people always got up to the maximum speed of the world record thing of the marathon bro, and they just let people run that pace for as long as they could until they just said stop. Okay, I'm good. Every single person was astounded that that was the pace. It's hilarious. So while it might not be a sprint, I mean, yes, it's a marathon, and you can play the game at whatever pace you want, but it's not a turtle's pace either.
With people in some of these lobbies where they were 10 times, or, well, not 10 times, but like twice or 3 or 4 times the amount of mastery rank that I have. And the reason why is because everybody's doing the exact same things that you're doing. They're looking for the same materials. They're looking for weapons. They're looking for parts. They're looking for mods. They're doing all the exact same things. So there's no chase to get to some glorified end game, because this game doesn't have raids or dungeons or things like that.
I mean, it kind of used to have raids, but I wasn't there for that. As far as like the end game, there's nothing really like crazy you obtain from getting mastery rank 30 or legendary rank 4. Besides, like at 30, you get like a little blessing that you can put on yourself. Like, ooh, ooh.
It doesn't have that kind of concrete end game that a lot of games have. It really is, like I said before, a choose your own adventure. Find things that you want to specialize in. Just have fun playing the game.
This is like another thing I really like about Warframe, and something that I have discovered I like. In the beginning, when you're a new player, you will just get carried. And it's okay to be carried in Warframe. Because you have to accept that people just got good shit, and they put in a lot of time and effort to make the good shit. And just be okay with it. And the more I played, the more good shit I got, the better I got at understanding like mobs, how to mod, the damage types, and all this, that, whatever. The more I discovered how much I like carrying like new players. This is a new thing that you just learn to like to do. You spend all this time and effort into like building the Warframe, putting like all the formas on it to put like the most maxed out mods that you can. You spend all the endo to put in and all the formas into your gun or your little melee to do the most damage and whatnot. And then what do you get from that? You just get to completely trounce the game. And you like to do it. And it's not like so uncommon for me to like go into a mission, and sometimes there will just be that one guy where he's like 99% of the damage, all the mob kills, and I'm just like, just go for it, bro. Do it. You just throw your hands up and it's like, that guy's good. Hopefully he's not cheating, whatever. But yeah, somebody put in a lot of time and effort to make their shit good so that they could do all the damage, and fantastic. And then sometimes I get to be that guy, and I'm just like cruising through the level, just blasting, and that feels cool. I don't know. That's like a new thing that I discovered. And maybe like the assholes are people that do all the damage and then complain that no one else is doing the damage. Yes, those guys are assholes. But yeah, don't be that guy.
I was really surprised with how often my friends wanted to play Warframe with me, especially because they've been playing it for years. The two friends that initially got me in to try Warframe the first time back in 2017, they had already been playing the game since it came out on Steam. And they still wanted to play with me. And initially, I thought it was just because they wanted to try to keep me playing the game because they wanted more friends that were playing the game, but that wasn't it. It was genuinely because they needed the stuff that I was going to try to get. And I was like mastery rank 6 at the time. It was crazy. I made this in hopes that people will be dissuaded from trying to look up too much material around Warframe because it's not that serious. It's not one of those games that you really need to try to maximize your time in. You don't need to worry about optimizing your gameplay to extreme ends. It's just completely unnecessary. While there are some players that do that in Warframe, and I'm sure there's going to be some people that'll disagree with me in the comments, it's not that kind of game. It's not necessary. After I finished the campaign of Warframe, I am at the point now that I play the game once, twice a week, maybe. Once a week for sure, because I stream the game every Thursday, but outside of that, I don't really log into the game unless a friend hops on and they want me to help them with something or whatever it might be, or I need to get footage for a video like this. But for the most part, I play it about as casually as possible because I've done what I wanted to do in the game, and every time I want to log in, I want to log in to have fun. I didn't want to turn the game into a job. And the crazy thing is that I'm pretty damn far into the game, and even though there's people that are out there that are still putting in hours every single day, they're not really all that far ahead of me.
Yeah.
It's kind of the beautiful thing about the game. It's not...
It is the good thing about the game and also the bad thing about the game. It's both. Why would you want to put more time and effort into a game that you're not going to be that much further in front of like the other players behind you? Just as like a gamer. Again, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing.
This looming threat behind you where FOMO is screaming, telling you to come back and play the game. It really is one of those things where maybe there's an event that pops up and you want to give it a shot. You go and play it, enjoy it, and then hop out. Go play something else. I've never played a game like this where I didn't feel chained to it because of its live service model. And it's crazy that this is a free-to-play game, and it allows for that kind of lifestyle when playing a game like this. In most cases, the longer you take away from the game, the further you are behind, but that's just not the kind of game that Warframe is, and that's... So this is where I would disagree with legendary drops. Everybody knows the dichotomy of the free-to-play game and the free-to-play live service game and the seemingly the complete $60, $70 game, where that's the game, that's all it is. I think free-to-play live service games cater to the hardcore player, and $60, $70 games that you pay for once, maybe they do a couple updates, quality of life updates, and they call it a day. I think those games are for the casual players. That's just what I think. Now, in the past, I thought the opposite. I thought the live service games were for the casuals,
and the hardcore games were for like the $70 games. It's I, this is like a thought or an opinion that has evolved over time, and yeah, that's just what I think.
That's why I appreciate it. And I made a video like this specifically because I really love this game. I really love its community. I love the overall vibe. I've met the developers. They're some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and they genuinely do care about the players. They genuinely do care about their game to a level that I don't think I've ever seen any other developer ever.
And I think that's great.
And I want more people to share in that experience. I want more people to understand what you deserve as a customer, what you deserve as a gamer. And I think that Warframe is a game that delivers on that. So here's to me hoping that you enjoy the game. Here's to me hoping you found any value in watching this video whatsoever. Chances are, knowing my audience and knowing the Warframe audience, the vast majority of people that are going to watch this are going to be people that already know this information in the first place, but they're probably just going to be checking their notes. No, he's not right about that. So
I don't have notes. What? It is funny though.
I'll tell you this. Check the comment section down below. You're bound to find a ton of really good advice. I implore all of the veterans that watch this video, because I know you will, comment down below with something that I didn't mention that you think they should know. Make sure that it's constructive. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you guys like the video. Share it with a friend that's just now starting Warframe, or a friend that you want to get into Warframe. Actually, if you're going to do that, I would instead send them to Warframe as a wake-up call. That's probably the better video to start with.
Yeah.
But outside of that, my friends, thank you guys for watching. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Family. 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 Family.
Thank you.
Oh man, that shit was too funny. Yeah. I mean, me personally, so like as you get older, you tend to just not really make friends anymore. You're lucky if you make some new friends, and a couple of friends I do have, they all have their own favorite games and whatnot. I'm not really gonna like dissuade them or try to convince them about trying to try out Warframe or whatnot, because honestly, at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff I agree with them. Warframe has some of the best developers, has the best community manager, community like developer like relationship and all that jazz. And yes, Warframe is probably the standard for what live service games should be, and is also the standard for FOMO, is also the standard for trading economy, is also the standard for time investment of a live service game. These are all objective things I think I can observe in the game. The thing that would probably like go against what I'm saying is this number. Peak concurrent. This is the only thing that would go against what I'm saying. Warframe isn't just on Steam. All right. There is the individual Warframe app launcher that you can just play the game from, and I don't think Steam takes into account those numbers. So there is the Steam launcher. There is the Warframe launcher, which is separate, I think. What is this like 12K bump in October? What is this? And what is this like 10K bump in December of? Okay, whatever. Okay, there's Steam launcher, Warframe launcher by itself, and then there is, I don't know what console Warframe is on. There's like all the console bros. I just lump them in together. I'm sure they'll all love that. So this is, I think, only a little correlation number, not a causation number. So if anything, if I were to like guess, let me guess. I would probably guess 150 Like literally take this number and like times it by 3. That's what, or maybe 4. That's what I would guess is like the current player base, 24-hour peak. So 150k or 200k players. And I think that's fine. That's great. That's fantastic. That is sustainable for the rest of the years of Warframe. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. It's just not gonna hit like anything bigger, really. It's pretty much like capped. Like, yeah, you saw those a couple bumps in there of like, oh, new players or new returning. I don't know like what those numbers are. Like, are those like returning players? Like, are they unique players? I'm not sure, but I don't think Warframe will get any bigger. And also, with the current trend of at least America and the culture of iPad kids and just attention spans, since it takes a long, like Warframe is like a very great time investment type of game, and if you're looking for like something like fast dopamine satisfaction, Warframe is not really the game for you. It's all about the slow grind, the marathon he was talking about. The marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. Me personally, if I had any friends that are like interested in playing Warframe and they're like just like a casual player, I would probably not like suggest they start. Like if I knew the type of player they were, I could probably gauge like, oh, if he's a hardcore player, he's like a grinder type person. Yeah, I would suggest the game to that type of person. But if they're like a true casual type of person, I'm just not gonna suggest the game to them. That's just me. And I know that's like a contentious subject, but I don't know. It's just an opinion. Overall, good video, fantastic, and yeah, this is awesome, and I want to see more of it. But that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.